Hello, fellow robots out there in internet land. I am Sobertron, and welcome to the next episode of the TekTopia Survival Guide here on the TekTopia Town server. And as always, guys, if you want to join me on this amazing free-to-play server, all you need to do is click the last link down in the description, and you have all the information you need to join me here on this amazing 100% free-to-play server. But guys, I forgot to show you something last time, and you can kind of see it right now. I've surrounded myself with beacons. I forgot to tell you guys this last time. I took all the beacons I had left for sale in my shop and I set them up here. So I added in 8 more beacons. They are all with swiftness. Yeah, that's a thing. Swiftness. That makes sense. But they still don't fit here in the middle of our pyramid, which is a little upsetting. I might try to figure out a way to add in a beacon right in the dead center of our pyramid. So we can move around much faster in the center, because right now it's not working out for us, but that's for later. I gotta do math and things, and I don't feel like doing that right now. We're gonna do something else. We're gonna do fun things, other things. Since last episode, I have done a little bit. A lot of it. I've been doing lots of things, guys. I've just been doing lots of random tasks around our base. I have finished up connecting these entranceways into the pyramid itself. I didn't go with anything special. I kind of just repeated the pattern kind of on this panel here, which ended up working out pretty nicely. It kind of fits in okay. It fits in okay. I'm not overly impressed with it, but at the same time it works. It fits. If I can get up here. Up here, I just did something temporarily. Temporary. Yeah, that's a word. Because eventually we're going to have some other decorative bits here, so I'm not too fussed about what's going on over here. The other thing that I've done, if I can fly, which for some reason I can't, is I actually am using a resource pack now. I downloaded Faithful 32, and I spent about 10 minutes just looking at these. I was like, oh my god, these floors look amazing. Look at those. They look so great. All the detail. All the detail is happening now, and I am 100% loving adding in this resource pack. It makes things just oh so much more beautiful. And yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. I am enjoying it greatly. But because we have 200 villagers now, I wanted to do a couple of little projects around our base to help facilitate things. I want to do another tavern. I want to expand our library, which is over yonder. But the first thing I want to do is I want to work on lighting up our outside a little bit more. You can see I've already done a bit. The OCD kicked in. I wasn't a fan of torch placement, and you can see that's not right. You go here. Yes. I wasn't a fan of all the torch placement around my base, so I am trying to fix that right now. I've done kind of this corner bit over here a little bit. I still have to do that whole downward area, because, yeah, that's OCD it's definitely a thing. The other thing, though, that's happened is our server owner, the guy who actually pays for the server, he upgraded. He did a hardware upgrade, so now things are operating much more efficiently. So now, guys, now's the best time to join. Things are operating amazing right now. But because of that, our necromancers are a bit more difficult at this point, specifically in this corner. So a while back, Cash, you can see her shulkers are sitting over there, was kind of expanding this area out. So right now, our corner of our village is right in this area here, but we will get some generic mob spawns there and up there, and if a necromancer spawns, specifically at night, I get attacked pretty hardcore. So I want to extend kind of our light buffer, let's call it that, because we don't have walls or anything. I want to extend this light buffer beyond the village border. You can see it kind of stops right at the border right now. I want to go another, 20 or 30 blocks out to ensure no mob spawns can happen. But I need to do that on all the sides. I need to get all this torch placement lined up. And I need to do a bit more terraforming. I have been doing quite a bit of it off camera, but there's still some left to do over here. Most of the other sides are pretty good right now, but this last corner is just not. I decided just to flatten things out, and maybe I'll add in some variation later. This area here, I'm probably going to keep pretty low down, but all that just needs to be fixed. Everything over here is looking pretty good, except for the torches, and yeah, I need to fix all that, because it's just irking me. It's irking me something fierce. I need to do something about it, so I need to spend a lot of hours placing sand and placing torches. And you guys don't need to see all that. So I'm just going to come back when all that's done, and we'll get started on some other little base improvement projects. After many, many tedious hours of placing torches in an amazing grid pattern, we are back. We are back, and yeah, this took a while. It wasn't hard. I just kind of put some movies on and started going to town. I did flatten out a lot of this area back here, and I'm gonna come back in here hopefully later on and re-terraform some of it. I just wanted something nice and flat, make it easy for me to do. But I'm not the best at terraforming. I am pretty not good at it. Like that I terraformed, it doesn't look good. So I'm probably going to have to call in Cash because she is, our resident terraformer around here and fix some of this stuff up. It has helped though. I have increased the light beyond our village border. I think I went 30 more blocks in all kind of three directions because this really can't go in ocean. And it's helped. I've had a couple necromancers spawn since I finished this up. Two of them are right in this corner, which was the one giving us the most problems before, mostly because like this wasn't lit, that wasn't lit, and at nighttime I was getting insane amounts of mobs. But yeah, that's no longer a problem. So now it's time to move on to our, next project of the day, and that's our library. Now, I want to expand our library. It's been the same since we started, and those hearts are, I think my volume's super low even. Let's just go at 1. There we go. That's a little better. Our library's been the same size since we got this, and this was really the first kind of structure that we made. And yeah, we need to expand it. Our village is way too big for a library this size. So I want to keep it here. I don't want to move it. But there are two ways we can go about this. Right now, this space behind this wall is open. This would be like where our kitchen is on the tavern on the, straight that way. So we can either just tear down this wall and expand the library into here, or we can remove the school, place that back there, and then do a more symmetrical library. That one would require more work. Like this whole bookshelf, I'd have to redesign and wrap it around the corner, which probably would end up looking the best. It honestly would end up looking the best, and I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. It'll make things just a little bit, I don't know, nicer looking, which means I'm going to have to move to school. So I'm actually probably going to do that first. I'm going to move to school because I want to get some more villagers going. I've got 3 more 6-bedroom homes up top that need to be, activated and populated. But if I don't have a school, I really can't do that. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to do the school first. I'll show you what that looks like because it's probably going to change quite a bit because it's a completely different shape. And then I'll come back, show you that, and we'll get cracking on the library. New school complete. It went super fast, really quickly, 30, 40 minutes to get this done. And that was after, adding and sealing floor and stuff. The floor actually isn't the greatest. I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm not going to be in here very often, so I don't really care. Other things I need to change though, I need to add in some more maps. I just didn't feel like doing them right now. But I do have plans to add in kind of this dock system and boats later on, just for decorative reasons, because this is actually outside our village border. I just think adding a little bit of life to it would make this place look that much better. And it actually worked out really well. I had these 3 original maps in the old school, and it was an even number wall, and it just looked weird because it was 3 wide, but it was just off. Everything was off about it. So adding in this 4th row is going to make it that much better. Other thing I need to do, I need to get some more gray concrete powder. I only made this original 8 when we built the school, but I think adding in 4 more across the top will make it a lot better. I might add in a few more bookshelves just to spruce up this wall specifically. It just looks a little plain right now, so I got to figure out something to do with that. But school's functional, and it's great. I need to actually place these hearts down now. The other thing that's nice about this is we actually added in a couple more chairs. The old school had 16. Now we have 18, so I can do the last remaining 3 6-bed homes all at once, which is great. That's just more villagers I can do at the same time. But let's look at the library. Cash is actually logged in, and she has been helping me out, just giving a second set of eyes. So before we had this kind of center column bit here, and this is where my crafting table and enchanting table were for. It looks like Cash fell down the hole. This is where my crafting table and enchanting table were for my enchanter. But it was actually throwing me off. I tried kind of mirroring it on this side, and it ended up only having a 1 wide gap here, and things just weren't working out, which is why the floor is so plain right now. This floor pattern in the old library was different than in the school, and those two together were just making my head hurt. So I'm tearing that up right now, trying to get things to be a little bit easier on the eyes, and then I'll come back through after I finish kind of the central bit of the library, and I'll redo some kind of different floor pattern in here. But I'll come back as soon as that's all done. But this is progressing very quickly, and I'm enjoying it, because generally my episodes take a very long time to record, and this one, not so much. So anytime I can save time is great. But I'll be back once the library's done. I'll show you guys what the final product looks like. Hi, guy. And then we will move on to the tavern, because I have some ideas for it, and it should be very, very nice. The new library is now all complete, and it is looking pretty glorious, if I do say so myself. Cash lending a hand was invaluable. Just giving that second set of eyes, other ideas, was really good. So let's go over a few things, changes, slight modifications. So this is the same kind of design I had originally. I can talk. But I moved it over a little bit, more in front of the doors, just to space it away from itself, because if I had tried to mirror it exactly as was, this space would have just been really cramped. So I built it again over there, and then I decided I'm going to actually have a different enchanting setup, and now we can actually use this. Before, because it was too wide, we had an enchanting table like here, and it wouldn't detect these books. But now, it's the perfect player enchanting setup, and our enchanter can use it as well. I have moved the crafting table as well into this kind of corner bookshelf thing, and I think it just looks good. I think that's the best place for it. Nowhere else would have made any sense. It balances out the room nicely. So everything should be 100% symmetrical in here. I also added a couple more armor stands, and I raised them up. I think it just gives it a little bit more meh, I don't know, something. I added a bit of color into the floor. Before, I just think it was too much. I think adding in just this little splash complements the room nicely. Our school is still very active. Our kids are in here doing their thing, all 18 of them, getting that education that they so need. Now, one of them will definitely become the bard. I'm not sure which at the moment, but pick your choice. One of 18, I don't know. Maybe that guy. You. Maybe you'll be the bard. I don't know. The rest, though, I'm thinking mostly miners and druids, because I have a couple more mine shafts underground that aren't being used right now. I think 4 in total, and I figured why not? Let's just do that. But for now, we're gonna start work on the second tavern that we're gonna have in our village. And it is a much bigger space. Like I said earlier, I believe this is 691 floor tiles currently. The maximum structure size, though, is only 500. Even if I were to not use this backspace, it would still be over 500 blocks. But once you add in other blocks, you can reduce the floor size. So if I were to place another block right here, the room would go from 691 to 690. So adding all those things in will shrink our room a little bit, and we'll be able to get, this down to 500. The other thing is, I think I should be able to fit a lot more chairs than the other one, probably around 50% more. The other tavern right now is 108, so I should easily be able to get to 150, 160 chairs in here. But first things first, I need to tear out this floor. Before, this used to be our animal area where our ranchers and animals were, and I think the butcher was back there if I remember correctly. But I want to go with a stonish floor again, so we're going to tear out all this, and then we'll start building. It'll be great. It'll be glorious. The last thing that we're going to have in here is a cool bar. So I have a circular bar in the other tavern right here, but I'm thinking just like a big, long, wraparound one on this back wall over here. Not necessary. I just think it adds that little bit of flair that will make things look really good. So I'm going to get busy. I'm going to shut up and start doing things. The second tavern in our village is now complete, and yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. I still have a bit more to do in here, though. I want to add some decorative things on top of these shelves in the back here. Maybe some furnaces, other things. It's just looking a little bare, for lack of a better term. I was pretty spot on in the amount of chairs that I needed in here. It's actually 156 in total. The only thing I have left to do is to see if this tavern will actually register, because I haven't done math and counted how many blocks are in there. I don't have a second tavern. Let's see how much it cost. Hey, architect. 55 emerald blocks. Okay, you guys can see this village is getting pretty pricey at this point, and it's fine. We have plenty of emeralds to do our thing, but that's expensive. That is super expensive right now. But we've got it. I mean, this shulker right here is full of emerald blocks, so it's not like I'm hurting for them. So let's go downstairs and activate this thing right now. Hopefully everything works out, otherwise I'm going to have to play with some block placement and things. I tried to make it look as much like that tavern as possible. So let's throw down the item frame, place the token. Sad face. Okay, so I need to add in some more things. So maybe I have to stop it. Hearts. Maybe I'll add in some kind of hearth maybe here. We'll see. I just need to reduce blocks is essentially what needs to happen now. So let me take that down so I don't spam the console. Yeah. Let's take two. So I added in the little hearth right there, and it didn't work again. So I added this little trim on the edges of the tavern. So hopefully now everything should be working right. Fingers crossed. Excellent. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So now our tavern is fully operational. I still, like I said, have some decorative things to do inside of here, but I want to get this going. So next thing I'm gonna do is grab all those hearts because they've been annoying the heck out of me, and then I need to convert all of our nitwits into some professions because they have been roaming around a little bit as I've been traveling back and forth to grab materials that I've forgotten. So I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna create the one bard, place down the mine shafts that I talked about earlier, convert all those other villagers into druids and miners and things, and make sure they have enough picks for all that fun jazz. And I'll come back. I'll have the tavern completely done with some decoration, and hopefully it'll be, fully populated with some villagers who have thus far been unable to enter our other tavern due to restrictions. So our second tavern is now completely done, but we're in the old tavern because I wanted to see how many people would come here, and it looks like it's almost full. There's, 70-ish%, which is fine. I figured that would happen. But let's look at the other one, how this one's doing. Yeah, much, much less people. Tons of less people in here. But honestly, in the long run, it's not going to really be all that big a deal. I have plans to have a much larger village than we currently have. We're at 218. 350, 400 is the realm of possibility of where we're trying to go. So eventually this place will be much more lively than it is. But yeah, good episode. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this a lot. We needed to do these things. They were much needed improvements to, these earlier structures we got. Now we got two taverns, much bigger library, bigger school. It's going to be great. And I have a flower pot in my hand. But until next time, you guys have a good one.